Hi, everybody out there on the YouTube source. This is Tikyo Sam coming to you live from my Tikyo Sam 2 channel. How y'all doing today? For all of you who do not know my channel and are seeing it for the very first time, my name is Sam. I'm American. I've been living in Japan for the last 7 or 8 years. And this, on my Tikyo Sam 2 channel, is where I like to blog, rave, raw video kind of rant about my life here in Japan. So, please feel free to check out some other videos and see what you like about them. But anyway, this video today is more for my current viewers and people who have caught up with me for a while. Hey guys, how y'all been? I know it's been a year or two, maybe a little bit longer. I hope you're all doing well. I'm doing fine here in Tokyo, Japan. And today, like the video states, be yourself and don't take shit from others. Why am I making this video today after a couple months, hell, even years or so, of not uploading anything to my channel here on Tikyo Sam 2? Well, I should give you guys a warning. This is 1 minute into the video. If you're still watching, hopefully you're watching in this video. Please take note. This is going to be a little bit long rant video, okay? This is going to be about an experience I had today and a little bit of a rant-wise situation I want to spiel to you guys about, okay? Are we good? いいですか? いいですか? じゃあ、ちょっと続けますけどね。Fucking, excuse me for being slightly drunk while I make this video, but you know, anytime you're drunk and putting yourself online, that's always the best part. I mean, come on, Victor, give me a break, man. Am I wrong here? Anyway, I wanted to tell you guys about a situation I had today. Now, I've been in Japan, a little backstory, okay? I've been here for about 7 years now, 7 or 8 years, okay? Came here right after school, fucking university, finished all that shit. Came over here, and I found a job, and I got sent to Chiba for 4 years. 3 years? 3.5 years. And I loved it. It was great. I was an ALT. I was a public school English teacher, and it was amazing. I had a great time. Japanese public schools are the perfect place to learn Japanese and learn everything you know about Japanese culture. It was a great job. My company was awesome. My bosses, my fucking other fellow employee teachers, they were great. I had a great time. I moved to Tokyo, and basically, long story short, I got fired in Chiba. Now, oh my god, you got fired? Oh, what did you do? Did you have sex with one of the teachers and the kids caught you? I wish that happened. Long story short, I didn't know that it was illegal to put photos or videos of your students up online, because I had seen other English teachers who had done the same thing. So I took some videos of my students and I during my private lessons with them outside of school, and the school got wise to it, and you know, school politics, company politics, boom, cut off from the school. Which, you know what, to be in retrospect, I didn't know. At the same time, my company didn't state that that was a rule. So, you know, I got the bad beef of the end of a situation that I didn't know was necessarily bad. Should I have made the video? Was there anything incriminating in the video? No. But could I have been a little bit wiser? Yeah. But at the same time, I wanted to move to Tokyo anyway, and I didn't really like my situation. So it turned out to be for the better. Now, my company said if I had moved from Chiba, that they would have still employed me, just in a different area. But despite how awesome my company was, they tricked me. They waited until I had ended my contract at my apartment company, and they told me the next day, "Hey, you're moving out of that city, right?" "Yeah, boss." "You're fired." "Oh, fuck you too." So I moved to Tokyo. Luckily, I moved to Tokyo. I already found another place, and luckily, after 3 years of working in Chiba, I had enough savings that I could work for a whole year or more, and I could totally work no problem, right? So I joined this one company. I won't say the name for the sake of them being awesome. And the woman who hired me, she actually lived as an exchange student in the town right next to my town in Denver, Colorado. And so she knew me, she knew my school, she knew kind of the general area where I came from, and she was really cool. And by the way, she was fucking hot. Oh man, fucking, what was her name? Ai-chan. If you ever see this video, you're fucking hot. I should have done something. Anyway, thank you, Ai-chan. Anyway, thanks to this one woman in Shibuya, she gave me a job at this very lucrative, very, very interesting returnee school. Returnee is basically Japanese kids who lived abroad and then came back to Japan after a certain amount of years. Now, she put me in a public school near Shibuya, which is kind of like a hip, cool, young town. Best place to fucking live or work if you want to be in Japan, in Tokyo. She put me there, all because of my spiel and my necktie, maybe? I don't know. She was really cool, but she put me right in this school. The contract and the company were not that good. I mean, the reputation was very shitty. My boss was a funny Hungarian guy who was racist as shit. He'd call Japanese people monkeys and fucking all this shit. But he was a really funny guy, and hey, they paid me on time, so whatever. But they gave me this contract that was basically maybe 10 months out of the year at this public school. And this public school was awesome. It was great. I loved it. I had such a great time there. And it was normal public schools have around 500 or more kids. This school had about 1,000 or more kids. It was really huge. And it was in an area of Tokyo where a lot of big companies are. So they'll send their employees abroad, and then they'll bring them back to Japan, and this is where the parents like to situate, you know, afterwards. And it's cool because most of these kids are dual citizens. They've been born in the U.S., they came over to Japan, or born somewhere else, and they were raised in another country. Now they're coming back to Japan. It was a really interesting, unique, awesome situation, and I was in the middle of it. I was smack dab in the middle of it. I had just moved to Tokyo. I didn't really know my bearings or whatever, aside from weekend trips to Tokyo. And this school was great. I mean, the kids were awesome. The kids were spectacular. I mean, I was basically put in charge of a special program that was teaching kids from 1st grade to 6th grade. Now, normal elementary schools, especially for an assistant language teacher in a public school in Japan, they usually teach 5th and 6th grade at multiple different schools, okay? I was teaching 2nd to 6th grade. Oh, no, first, no, I was still teaching 1st grade. I was teaching 1st grade to 6th grade at a public school at one school in Tokyo. It was a very rare situation. And it was part of the Monbusho, the Ministry of Education's first, it was like a test school to see how this situation worked in Japan. Now, this situation was interesting because the school had over like 30 classes about, and so I was in charge of teaching all of them, and this was not from me and the company, this was from me and the Board of Education, directly talking to each other, even though it was technically me and a company, you know, company and my contract, but I was in direct contract with the Board of Education, and it was very interesting, it was very cool. I got to learn a shitload of new awesome teaching techniques, and I was giving a giant classroom. The kids would come. Normally in Japan, like America for elementary school kids, the teachers bring the kids to the other, other type of classrooms. So like home economics, music, and English class. They all brought them to my classroom, and it was awesome. It was great. It was a really fun time, and there was one class that was so shitty, so horrible, that one of the the homeroom teacher of that class ended up retiring early, just because they were so bad. And I won't get into that. But anyway, after this long ramble, hopefully you're still listening. The school was good, but the kids liked me, the teachers liked me, but I had a very kind of hard situation with the principal of the school, okay? The principal was a great guy, but the vice principal was this horrible, disgusting, very, very anal retentive, very, very demanding fucking pig bitch. I mean, that's the best way I could say her. She was like, she looked like a pig, and she was a bitch. Now, if you're ugly, I would understand if you're a bitch, but I mean, she was overly stressed, not getting laid, just horrible, horrible, horrible human being. And I did not have a good time thanks to her. But anyway, 10 minutes into the video, my drunken ramble. So, why did I bring up all this today for you guys 10 minutes within the video? Are you still listening? I hope you're listening. The reason why I brought up this topic in general is because today I got hired by a company part-time. Yes, I've been working part-time. I'm a translator now. I'm not a full-time employee at a porn company anymore. I'm a translator part-time for a patent mechanical engineering company, and I also teach English on the side. Now, why do I do these two things? It's because, well, English teaching, it pays a shitload more per hour, especially if you have experience, and translating, I can do it anytime I want. It's based by contract, not by schedule. So, as long as I get this done within a month, I can keep going, and I keep getting more contracts and more contracts. It's amazing. It's really good. If you get your job done and quickly and the quality is high, you can get as many contracts as you want. You get tons of shitloads of money. Anyway, one of my friends, he works for a company where they hired a drunk 60-year-old guy. The guy came in drunk to class, and yeah, they fired his ass. Now, luckily for my free schedule recently, I can do these kind of jobs. So, I had helped my buddy out in the past, so I thought I'd help him out again. And I went in for the job interview. Within 2 seconds, I get the job. Bam! Yeah, nigga! It was good. And it's cool because the job is in Ikejiri Ohashi, which is where I used to work at one of the public schools. And it's funny because I went to the public school. Well, technically it's not in Ikejiri Ohashi, it's in Yoga, but still. I went to the school because I had an interview. And I went to the school. The interview was postponed by an hour. So I was like, fuck it. I used to work in this area. Let's go check it out. So I walked to the school. I walked to the old bread store. I walked to the old Thai restaurant. I say hi to all these people, and they all remembered me. They're like, oh, Omika. And I'm like, oh shit, yo, what's up? And then they all remembered me. It had been 3 years since I had shown my face in that town. And everybody remembered me, okay? Every fucking person there remembered Mr. Tikyo. Yeah, buddy. So, I walked to the school, and these kids were like, Sam sensei janai no? Sam sensei ja! And, all these kids are like, oh my god, it's Sam sensei. It's Sam sensei. I haven't shown my face in this town in like 2 or 3 years. It's just, it's out of the way. I never went there. And these kids, I taught them 2014, 13, 12, 11. I taught them 4 years ago. 4 years ago, I was their teacher. And they remembered me. Not only did they remember me, I asked them, hey guys, it's been so many years. Well, who's the better teacher here? I was like, 何年ぶりとサム先生と会わなかった。もう、誰が一番いい先生だった？もう、今までは何人先生が来ましたでしょ? I'm like, I'm telling them, like, that's a great thing too. At this school, I was the English teacher. But only 30% of these kids were returnee students from abroad. The other 70%, 100% Japanese kids, they never been abroad. They don't speak English. And I'm talking to these kids just because, fuck English teacher. I'm not their teacher anymore. I don't need to speak English. I never liked speaking English to my kids, okay? I think it's a lot better for you to connect with these kids heart to heart speaking Japanese than English, okay? So I'm telling these kids, I'm like, who is the better sensei? Who did you like better? And they're like, oh, Sam sensei ga ichiban yokatta yo. And I'm like, they're like, Sam sensei was the best. And I'm like, Usso jaro? And I'm like, that's a lie, right? Nande ore no class ga ichiban yokatta no? Why did you like my class the best? And they're like, Sam sensei no class no game ga ichiban omoshirokata shi, Sam sensei no nanchi mo shukudai ga ichiban omoshirokata shi, mo yappari Sam sensei mo ichiban yokatta yo tte, nanka ichiban omoshirokata no sensei da yo. Basically, they're just saying my shit was awesome, okay? It was, I had impressioned these kids from a while ago to have fun in English, okay? And I just right there, I almost started crying. I mean, luckily I had my sunglasses on, so I mean they didn't see it, but it's at this point, 15 minutes into the video, if you're still watching, that I realized none of this shit mattered. Okay? Here I am, 7 years later in Japan, and I'm still teaching English, okay? Now, I used to hate English teaching. I used to hate the word, the fucking phrase, the job topic, the industry, English teaching. But I hated it for the wrong reasons, okay? I used to think English teaching was just a way for lazy people to get by, to get a visa, to get a job, to get a salary, to be fucking lazy, okay? The longer I'm in Japan, I realize that English teaching is what you make it, you know? It's just like any job. It is what you make it to be. And I agree, English teaching, it's not really a career type of job unless you have a master's degree or unless you're trying to actually get higher in the academic, working world. It's not a career. But it is a great way to fund your other activities. For instance, right now I have my own company. I didn't say this. Didn't say this out word. Out loud. I'm drunk. I've been working on my own company. Okay. I have my own company right now, but a lot of people don't realize is that when you have your first company, you gotta work. Okay. You gotta have money to bring in the rent while you're bringing in money to invest in your other projects, right? So English teaching, if you guys don't know, working a part-time job in Japan, you get paid $10 an hour. Me, I get paid about $50 an hour now. No joke, about $50 an hour, okay? And that's what you get for being older and having experience teaching English. Now, when I was a salaryman, when I was an office worker, I was making about sanjugo manen, so about $3 grand a month. Before taxes, which isn't enough, which a lot of haters will say who don't want to fucking name their jobs and talk shit with just an anonymous account. They'll say, that's not that much for a guy your age. Well, for a guy who was working newly in that kind of industry, it is a lot. It's good. Comparatively, when you compare English teaching to office working, it is a big difference, right? Okay, so, but if you're working part-time so you can fund your company or fund your other projects, getting paid $50 an hour is quite good, considering that most ALTs, they get paid, what? Most English teachers get paid $2,300 to $2,500 a month. And if you break that down towards 40 hours a week, 4 times a month, that's about $12 or $13 an hour. And they have to be there all day, 8 days an hour, or 8 hours a day. So, getting paid to work basically that whole day's shift in 2 hours is more than welcome. And so I'm quite happy with that. But anyway, to be honest, quite recently I felt a little bad because I had gotten a gaijin pot. I had applied for other English teaching jobs that I had done before, and no one was calling me back. No emails, no replies, whatever. And I was actually thinking this is about me being bad, about me not burning bridges in the past. But today, it's like I realized, that's all bullshit. Now, why do I say it's all bullshit? Well, it's simple, guys, okay? Okay, let me tell you a story. A story based on that other story. A rant, if you will. I've worked for multiple companies part-time while being in Japan. I worked for a company called Minerva. Hi, Samad, and fuck you, Sebastian. Yeah, Minerva. It's a ALT and a Kiowa company based out of Shinjuku, and they have a lot of company branches in Japan. Now, I made a video right after having an interview with them, and I quit the job about 2 or 3 months after I got the job because, one, it was a shitty contract, and 2, the pay was okay, but it was just overall a shitty contract. And so, as soon as I got a new job, fucking jumped on that shit and fucking said goodbye to Minerva. But unlike other assholes, I gave them a month's notice. I gave them 5 different guys that lived in the area that had the qualifications that could start immediately. I gave them that. Okay? This is 150% more than anybody who quits. I said, any of these guys can replace me. You have a month to interview all of them. Do what you want. They still didn't hire anyone, and they lost the contract. Why? Because they're stubborn pieces of shit. Now, Samad, you know I love you, but fuck you, Sebastian, you piece of shit. And so, anyway, because of that, I can never get a job at that company anymore. I had applied again last year, and I saw they had a contract near me, but I called them up. I called the guy up who hired me directly. I didn't even fucking apply. Called him up. He's like, Sam, you burnt your bridge down. You can never come back here. You made a video on your TQ Sam 2 channel talking shit about us. Even though you never mentioned our name, I'm sorry. We can't hire you ever again. And you know, I was a little hurt that if I had not made that video, maybe, that I would have gotten hired again. But at the end of the day, guys, okay? At the end of the day, guys, you should never be in English teaching for the long run, okay? English teaching is mugen hataraku kyogai. Mugen genkai chiyuka. It's unlimited, okay? Today, I thought after applying for on Gaijinpot, on Ohio Sensei, on all these places, that I hadn't gotten a call back recently because maybe I talk shit on my TQ Sam 2 channel about teaching English. But you gotta remember that English teaching doesn't suck, okay? It's the office politics that come into English teaching that sucks. Now, both of my parents are teachers. They're very, very smart teachers. They're shitty parents, but they're very, very smart teachers. They're individuals. They teach you one time, for 5 minutes, you're going to remember it your whole life, okay? Teaching is a big deal to me. And a lot of these English teaching companies, they will never want you to go. They'll want you to be a product, okay? They'll want you to be a good fucking selling thing for their company, okay? But if you try to step across that line and try to be something more than what you're hired to be, which is basically a fucking cutie little gaijin pet for the school, as soon as you try to go a little bit further than that and you piss off the wrong person, like a parent or a teacher or the vice principal, you're done. They don't need you because you made them be inconvenienced for 5 minutes or so, okay? So, with that being said, at this school in yoga in fucking southern Tokyo, I came there today. Today I went there, and these kids that hadn't seen me in 4 years were like, oh my god, I remember you. You're the best teacher we've had so far. Why don't you come back? And I go back into the school, and I see the teachers, and they said, why didn't you come back? Are you being hired here again this year? And a lot of haters would say, oh yeah, well those kids probably said that because you came there and they just wanted to be nice, or oh those Japanese teachers said that because they were there and they wanted to be nice. But you know, when I first came to Japan and I was younger, I would have believed that shit. But that kind of mentality, that kind of fucking statement is just for those fucking gaijin haters that have been here for too long, have not fucked their wives in forever, and are pissed off and want to just fucking give the young guys a poisoned, sick, negative mentality about Japan, okay? For me, I've been in Japan long enough to know when people are lying to me, okay? These teachers, they honestly didn't know about the shit between me and my company and the shit between the fucking vice principal and me at that school. But all those kids, all those fucking teachers remembered me. They remembered me, guys. They wanted me back, you know. And so that's the whole point of this fucking video. Don't take shit from anybody. Be you. Be the person that you want to be. And remember that shit. When you follow through with your fucking idea, 10 years, fucking 20 years from now, when you look back and you're like, oh man, I wish I should have done something better, or I wish I could have done like this guy did. Remember, guys, at the end of the day, did you have goals? Did you meet those goals? Did you make new goals? Did you keep going? Because at the end of the day, I knew that I wouldn't be teaching English forever. At least full-time. I knew I would never be doing that full-time again. And if I did teach English during that time, I would have done it my way, and I wouldn't have given a shit what bridges I fucking burned. Because at the end of the day, it's all about the kids or the students and my interaction and experience. As long as they went away with it with something positive and they learned something, I don't give a shit who paid my fucking rent that month, okay? Because at the end of the day, all English teaching is bullshit. The working world that pays you is bullshit. It's all about image versus quality, okay? They want more. They want a white guy to teach the kids English versus a Japanese guy who spoke way better English than them. They're always going to go for the white guy, okay? Now, I'm not saying that all I said English teaching is bullshit, but let me refrain. I have worked for multiple companies up until now, and in Iraq, in particular, Minerva, in particular, fucking all these different companies. All they care about at the end of the day is the fucking paycheck. 給料日とか金の話だけだよ。契約、ジューシーな契約の話だけだぜ。All they cared about was making money. So, but all I cared about from them was making an impact and having fun teaching my students, my Japanese students, about how I could be a foreigner, I could speak Japanese, and I could still teach them English, and they could have a great time. Now, because of that, I am in my late 20s, after 7 or 8 years of being in Japan, and I am enjoying my life a lot. And I am living here with Tim Ferriss and my kanji chart and my Chinese kanji chart. And I have to say, even after all this bullshit, I'm still so happy that I moved over to Japan, and I'm so happy that I had experience teaching at those shitty jobs, because the office politics were shitty. But living in Japan, being able to work here, being able to interact with those thousands of kids who I know, even today, remember Sam Sensei, is what makes my life here so fucking awesome and complete. You know, I came here and I would always remember fucking all these older guys talking shit, and I'm young, I want to know everything. I know that I don't know shit about this country, so I'm just going to sit here, I'm going to listen to the fucking guy who's been here longer than me, and just try to take in everything that he has to say. But, you know, it's just, you gotta come here, you gotta live it, you gotta experience it for yourself. And over time, you'll form your own opinion about it, and hopefully it won't be negative. I mean, you know, I've been here for a while now. I've experienced so much, and even after all this time, I mean, there's still so much more that I need to learn. But I know that if I let other people's negative influences affect me, I will become negative. I will become like kind of lethargic and hating of this, kind of a hater of this country. And you know, I live in this is a room right now, but I own a fucking house in Tokyo. How many fucking white guys you know living in a fucking house that they bought in Japan, huh? How many guys you know that don't hate Japan or speak fucking fluent Japanese after living here for so long, huh? If you know some, tell me, because I don't know any. It's about getting to 30 minutes here, but I just want to say, guys, is that, you know, Japan is what you make of it, and your job is what you make of it. I started English teaching with the ideal that I was going to burn some bridges down, because I don't want to be that guy who's going to have to come back to his old company or to another English teaching company after 5 years after I told them to fuck off on the internet or talk shit about them to their clients. And I'm still not that guy. And I'm very proud of that, because it's like Cortez when he went to the New World and he burned his boats down, you know, to encourage his men to move forward. In some ways, I'm a little sad and regretful that I had burned all those bridges from those previous employers. But at the same time, I know that I did a great job, and I know I affected those people's lives, and I made some money off of it. So, in one way, I won, and in their minds, they lost. They didn't really lose, but in their minds, they lost. And, you know, at the end of the day, if you keep moving forward, if you're, you know, who do you want to rather be? The guy who moved to Japan, used English teaching as a stepping stone to gather some money and learn Japanese, and then fucking branched out to all these different Japanese companies and experiences Japanese life. And from there, sometimes he wanted to teach English, or from there, sometimes he wanted to come back to YouTube to say hi to people out there. and give advice to all the youngsters coming out here. It's not that bad, huh? Anyway, fucking 30 minutes. You guys better be happy I fucking record all this shit. Alcohol is one hell of a drug. Anyway, guys, this is Tikyo Sam coming to you live from the Tikyo Sam 2 channel. Thank you for watching tonight. And y'all stay black. Stay black, y'all. And fuck Minerva and fuck Interact and fuck all those other English teaching companies. Suck my dick, bitch! Laters, guys. Peace.